Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Don Donald, and this is Motivation on Tees. Today, we would be speaking about one of the greatest motivational statements ever made: we stoop to conquer. We stoop to conquer. What is it to stoop in the first place, in case you do not understand? To stoop can be physical or figurative, but it's the body or mind position we take to achieve a certain objective. Physically, it is to bend the upper part of our body forward and downward to a half-squatting position. But figuratively, to stoop is to lower yourself below your abilities and potentials, in order to achieve your desired end. It is to adopt a role or an undertaking that is seen by many or even yourself as being beneath you so as to realize your ultimate goals. Let me inform you that this episode in its entirety hangs on this figurative meaning of the word stoop. You might begin to wonder, how can one then stoop to conquer, when in real essence, he's supposed to stand to conquer? But you wonder only because you do not know that the way up in life is down. This will now make me tell you, the day you discover the power of weakness, that's the day you discover the secret of strength. Again, the day you learn how to bring yourself down sometimes, and go low below your self-set status and standards, not in a negative way, but in a humble way. Then and only then, have you learned how to always win in the end. Because, nothing gives one so much advantage over others in life as to know when to go low in order to go high. We stoop to conquer. Let me say this to you. I have had to assume positions of humility and subjection in my life, many times not willingly, but looking at the bigger picture of overall success in the end, I have had to condescend in order to ascend in the end. Several times, I have undertaken tasks that I feel were far beneath me, and was never proud of, but for the goal set before me. Sometimes, life might leave you with no choice but to stoop low as a result of frustration, desperation, victimization, intimidation, compulsion, humiliation, domination and oppression. But whatever it is, and wherever the influence comes from, whether internal or external, I have learned how to swallow my pride and bend down, descending from my high horse and perceived rank and dignity, to take the knocks and bangs, pains, insults and assaults for the biggest gain I foresee in the long run. That's what it means exactly to stoop to conquer. I will give you a story. There was a time I had nothing doing, completely nothing. I had lost my job at a time, and nearly at the same time I also lost my accommodation. So I was both jobless and homeless, at the same time. It's a terrible place to be in, I must tell you. So then, I decided to use my little life's savings to secure myself first a roof over my head at least, and probably use the remainder of my savings for a small business startup if possible. Then I set out to rent myself a one-room apartment, after which I invested the remaining amount on a small business that never lived to see if there was any light at all at the end of the tunnel or not. Here I was, having a roof over my head for a small period of time, but no food on my table. I couldn't tell where my next meal was going to come from at a point. And after some time, there came the news of a job opening from a friend, and guess what job it was? It was my most sworn enemy job, a job I hate with every fiber being, and swore never to do in my entire life, even in the face of hunger, starvation and death. A very demeaning job, very denigrating and very degrading, that I wouldn't even wish it for my enemy, nor mention it here for the respect of those who are still in the job right now. Remember, when men say they have no choice, it's only a mere talk. There is never a time man is completely deprived of his agency of choice. Because man is born a free moral agent, making choice and man inseparably one. As a choice animal, man's conscience is ruled by choice. I could have chosen to ignore the job and stay hungry, feeding on my pride and ego. That's my choice. I was facing reality that day. I had absolutely nothing coming in, and I didn't know where to go from where I was that day. I had a lot of bills to pay, and debts to offset. So that was a dire situation for me. But I think I made the right choice at the end of the day, by changing my mind to accept this very debased, beneath job for my survival and that of my dependents. And you know what? The future proved me right. Because I made a tremendous impact both on my life and the life of others afterwards as a result of that humble singular choice that I made. We stoop to conquer. In life, don't you ever say, I'm never going to ever accept this God-forsaken job, over my dead body. Honestly, I'm grateful that at that material point in time, by some sheer stroke of imagination or inspiration I was able to see my destination, the end and the overall picture, far and above the job that I hate. So I said to myself, I was going to pick this shitty job, save up my money for a specified period of time and walk away silently to do something better with my life. The most important thing to me was to pass that particular phase of life at that time. And the moment that hit my imagination to make that right choice, I realized my mind had been somehow trained to know when to actually stoop to conquer. A lot of people don't know when and how to stoop to conquer. I stooped to take the most lowly job but conquered in the end. Thanks to my humble imaginative mind. You see, a lot of the time, people miss life-changing opportunities because of their ego and pride, or because they don't like the wrapper that holds the opportunity they look for. And life can be very funny sometimes, that it can bury under the gutter behind your house, the diamond you seek in the mines. Open wide your eyes, and learn how to stoop to conquer in life. And mind you, stooping to conquer obviously affects and relates to every facet of human life and existence. Sometimes, it could just be a quarrel or a misunderstanding in your family. Or between you and your boss or superiors in the workplace. But when you look at the whole fight, it's not worth the end picture if you can keep silent, remain humble and polite and play the fool. You are definitely stooping to conquer. No doubt, it's a special virtue to always keep your cool and calm, and remain unruffled and unperturbed under all circumstances, stooping to conquer even when you know, and are too sure that you are the one in the right, and your opponent is in the wrong, but claiming right and refusing to apologize for his or her wrongs. Because, in the end in itself will certainly justify the good means through which you got to the end. And the victories are always sweet and better than whatever would have happened if you had acted on the spur of the moment. That good beautiful end, is a sort of nature's reward to you and revenge to those who opposed you unjustly. Know this, providence surely rewards. Not also considering the fact that wisdom does not even require you to wrestle with your employers, whether you are the one right, and they are the ones wrong, when you do not have another source of income or means of livelihood. And when you have not made yourself indispensable in your company or have another job waiting outside the office for you, why do you want to wrestle with your employers? Why won't you stoop to conquer? And you have a whole family to feed and an array of bills to pay. That's suicide. I know that there is a school of thought that sees meekness and humility as weakness and timidity, and sees gentleness and patience as foolishness and cowardice. But is gentility stupidity? I ask you, because Robert Frost sometime was quoted to have said that, education or knowledge is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. Does that make one stupid? No. No, no, no. Rather, it makes one wise, or at least, seem to be wise. Yes, I can understand that as much as almost everyone knows that silence is golden, still, it can be a very great challenge sometimes knowing whether, or when exactly to keep silent or speak. Because, many times, it gets tougher trying to resist that personal urge to flex one's muscles and bragging rights when faced with these adversities or harsh realities. That's quite understandable though, because we all are humans and not angels, and no man wants to be seen as being weak. But it's always better to decide to remain calm in the face of hardships, and allow a particular situation run its course, than to go through that expected route of human resistance. And if only you knew when and how, and also knew the benefits of keeping silent and playing the fool, or ultimately knew when and how to stoop to conquer, you would have focused on the cheese and acted the fool, in order to have the full bite. Nothing pays more like it. And not all battles in life are to be fought at all or confronted head-on. Sometimes, be selective with your battles because peace or silence always works better than war. Because also, consultation is better than confrontation, and dialogue better than violence. Let me tell you now, many have gone, and many have shipwrecked their lives and future, and many have remained stagnant in life as a result of what we are deliberating on today, in this video. They can't stoop to conquer. Only because they never learned the art of stooping low to conquer. Their selfish selves took better part of their lives than their humble selves, until they killed themselves with it. It's such a great pity. We stoop to conquer. Many times, I wonder, why do some people never rise above their lowly states in life? They never move from point A to B. They are always and forever stuck at the lower rung of the ladder in the society. They are forever poor, mentally and materially, even when life has graciously offered them severally all the opportunities and privileges they need to break through and scale through in life. But I know why. It's mainly because of their stinking attitude of self-pride and ego. And by being over-bloated by self, they made their choice to stay down and settle for less in life. Only because they don't know and never sought to know how to stoop to conquer. You must first decide to conquer in life, and to conquer, you must learn how to stoop to conquer. We must stoop to conquer. We stoop to conquer. And you must accept it to make it. To conquer is to defeat in combat, to overcome concrete or abstract obstacles. It's to win in war, whether hot or cold war. And this makes stooping to conquer extremely an intentional act. As a matter of fact, you must deliberately decide to humble yourself and lower your status sometimes in life for the purpose of achieving your ultimate dreams in life. And here, I would bring in just a tidbit of the 18th century play by an Anglo-Irish playwright Oliver Goldsmith, titled, She Stoops to Conquer, and we would end this video. Thank you so much for your patience. In the works of Mr. Oliver Goldsmith, She Stoops to Conquer, it's all about the daughter of a very wealthy man who intentionally lowered her social status in life and took on the form of a lowly maid, stooping down so low as that position just to conquer her love interest in a would-be suitor, to prove the point that the substance and dignity of human person is what really matters, and not the way one or the society gauges one's living as high or low. That's the origin of this phrase, we stoop to conquer, and truly, she came, she saw, and she conquered. And I must tell you as I close, that in chasing your dreams in life, it's necessary to accept that sometimes, life will require you to stoop so low in order to emerge the winner at the end of your journey. Thank you so very much. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to join our community for free, and make sure you press the notification bell, so you get notified every time we upload a new video. Also like, leave a comment, and share our videos with your friends and family if you find them valuable. And I will see you in the next video.